Next up, it's Picture This. Martin Vallely takes a sideways look at the world of film.
Good evening. Sorry about that. I thought we were going to get a theme tune coming in there. I think what we might do is Maura, where are you? Maura, please come back. I'm only joking. We have a wonderful producer in with us tonight, Mr. Frank. Senior Frank. Hi, Frank.
Hello.
How's it going? Frank's daughter was banging at the door there just as it happened. It all goes down in Picture This land. I'm delighted to. I wonder what that was. Whoops, Jerry. There's no need for that.
Yeah.
Why did you do?
Macs around me.
Why did you do that? I have the great pleasure.
Mac dealer on the side.
Are you a Mac man?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Shoot up regularly.
Oh, you shoot up Macs?
Yeah, cheers.
Really?
You know, they're small and compact, but like me.
Well, before the audience switch off and go, who's the crazy man? I'm going to.
Oh, don't worry, I'll find them in on that.
I'm going to introduce you to tonight's guest. My guest is an old friend. We go back some years, it must be said, more than 10, as the man said. When I knew Jerry, he was Jerry Milan. That is. Hi, Jerry.
Hi, Martin.
How you doing? Good to have you on the show. I've had you in mind for a while, to be honest.
Thanks, sir. It's great to be here.
But the last time when I met you, Jerry, I'm supposed to go back a few years, maybe 15 years, at least. Come to think of it, you've kind of been up to an awful lot of stuff. In the film world. Well, it's safe to say your film world sort of experience is more of a beginning thing. It's something that you've been getting into the last couple of years. But I kind of, before we even get to that, I thought we might just do a quick sort of resume
run through of my
and don't worry, it's not a job interview, and I'm not
Thank
going
God
to
for that.
I'm not going to ask you questions like what would you do if you crossed the road and fell over. There won't be anything like that.
I'd laugh hysterically until I was arrested. What would you do?
Nothing.
If I fell over?
It
Nothing?
doesn't matter. I'm the host. I can do whatever I want. That's not the point. Be a guest. Be nice. Do not cross the line.
Okay.
But Jared, tell me a little about yourself. I think you're a Cork man, aren't you? Born and bred.
Yeah, Cork man, born and bred, as you say, and I suppose started acting first. Kind of when I was about. I think I went to the course in Stefan F, Marion White's course, and I was like 26.
Stefan F. Now, for all our listeners out there in WWW land, tell us, where's Stefan F?
Oh, yeah, well, it's in Tramore Road in Cork, so it's...
and where's Cork?
It's this small place on this dirt ball. No, it's not. It's this massive, epic city full of amazingly good-looking people.
Correct.
And then, unfortunately, I live there as well. But what can you do?
Okay.
And
you can't have everything. You got the talent, in fairness.
This is it, though.
Yeah.
So I've got everything else.
So I suspect you've been entertaining people from a young age, Jerry. Would that be safe to say?
Yeah, I suppose I have that kind of extroverted personality, but I kind of managed to put it to some kind of focused. I suppose I always wanted to be a performer, basically.
Yeah. Well, I know behind that shy exterior lies a creative furnace.
Jeekers, I wish I knew
that. No. This is a fact. I know this. I know this because. When I knew you, we played guitar and sang together, and that's gone back a couple of years. You remember?
I certainly do.
Up in Jeremy's house?
I remember extremely well.
Hello, Jeremy, if you're listening out there. I hope you are, because this is historical. It's me and Jerry Milan in the same room, having a chat. So tell me, was it kind of acting? You were sort of drawn to acting first?
Well, I kind of started playing music first, probably, but just kind of jamming and stuff when I was 19 or 20, right? I picked up the guitar maybe 21, 22, and up in that house, as you mentioned, in Jeremy, so when we were kind of having jams and stuff,
Jeremy Sullivan from Ballinlaw.
That's it. Was he?
Happy days. Unfortunately, his brother is Mark, but we won't go on about that too much.
Even though we just did.
Yeah, I know, but we love Mark because Mark's our friend too. But I'm sure Mark isn't listening. He might be, but anyway,
might find out.
So
when we were up in the house, we were having these jams and stuff. I just started improvising, kind of. Characters, I mean, like doing funny songs, doing characters and stuff like that, and I just kind of, started having such a laugh out of it. I kind of thought, geekers, maybe improvisation, acting is something I might want to get into, and so the kind of theatre took off first. Kind of went to do the course with Marion White, did a play with them.
I didn't know you did the course. What course was that?
Well, actually, do you know your friend Pater O'Donoghue?
Yes, indeed,
yeah, he actually gave me the lead part in the first play I ever did, which was the 15-minute Hamlet. When I played Hamlet, he was a teacher on the course.
Was that part of the Stiff on F course?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So when I was in first year, I auditioned for the first play that came up in the year. Like you do normally 3 big plays in the course, and got the lead role. So I was like, absolutely petrified, and it went really well. And when I left the course, I started doing kind of theatre for a number of years in Cork, and then kind of migrated in, as you know, I sing as well, and then just kind of played music a bit here and there. I haven't pursued music to the same degree that I've pursued theatre, and hopefully that's something I'm going to rectify in the coming years, because I'm starting to I kind of see that I want to focus on the music a lot more as well,
Yeah, well, I'm sort of a similar beast to yourself in that regard.
You're a beast now.
Yeah, indeed. Le bête. Le bête. All our French listeners, let me know, is it Le bête or La bête? La bête. I think there was a film called Le bête, which means the beast, of course. I come from, obviously not from quite exactly the same roots as you, but my interest in music has probably been more sort of embracing than yours has. But I've seen you in action, and you're a fine singer, and you play fine guitar. In fact, I recall giving you guitar lessons. Is that right?
You did, actually.
It's all coming back. This is weird.
What were you trying to teach me something?
I was trying to teach you.
Hard. I think it was like Guitar 2000 by.
No, I was not. I was teaching like 5 chords.
No, you weren't. Actually, it was something really impossibly difficult.
No, it wasn't.
It was It was Doyle Dykes. Anyway. It was something incredibly simple, and you wrote it in crayon, and I couldn't play it, neither could you.
It was The Entertainer by Scott Joplin.
That was one.
Remember?
One of them.
I seem to recall you nailed it, actually. But Shinska, I'm not advertising my wares as a teacher, by the way, folks. If you're listening, I'm not a teacher. I'm still teaching, but I'm just pulling back from the teaching thing, slowly but surely, like putting it to the side, putting it behind me. But anyway, so Ger, you did the Stiff on F course. How long was that course for?
It was.
What are we talking? What's the time frame here now? 2001.
I was 26. It was about 14 years ago. So 98. I'm terrible.
99.
I would call that maths. 98, 99. I'm now. Don't hold me to it. Although I'm not important enough that someone's going to look it up. But I think
You'd be surprised.
I would be very surprised. Something like that. Like it was a 2-year. Most of the PLC course. So I didn't do the second year. I did first year. That was grand for me.
You didn't? You just did the 1 year?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you decided to go for it?
Yeah.
So to speak. Yeah? Did you go for it?
I did. Just did a lot of plays, and let's like a lot of serious. Not a lot of serious plays. Like I played Frank O'Connor at one stage.
Oh.
Met his wife actually, Harriet Rich, was pretty amazing because it was
the Frank O'Connor, as in Frank O'Connor, the storyteller,
and I met his
the confirmation suit. That Frank O'Connor.
That Frank O'Connor, and I think it was the 100th anniversary.
Recently?
He would have been 100 years of age at that stage, right? If he'd been alive.
For our listeners out there not from Cork, although we always think
he's a little bit bigger than that.
We always wonder about Cork when we live in Cork. We wonder what's out there. It doesn't matter. It's not Cork. I'm only joking. But we had a few great writers who come out of the Cork city. One of them being Frank O'Connor, who lived in Dillon's Cross, I recall, in the north side.
His house actually there's a kind of a thing for him down
Douglas Street. I think that's where he was born.
Yeah.
But he grew up in Dillon's Cross on the Old Yall Road there. If you're listening, if you want to text us in, we're on 00353 85 818 3880.
Holy cow, how'd you remember that?
My eyesight's amazing. Not. So my eyelids have just closed. I'm trying to find them again. Okay. And we're on Facebook as well. We're on Picture This on Irish Radio International. If you want to leave a comment, say hi to Jerry, say hi to Martin, say hi to our wonderful producer Frank. We'd love to hear from you, and I think we might get a little bit of music going, because what we tend to do in this show is with our guests, we like to bring some films and talk about the films. So we're going to kind of sort of intersperse the films you like. I know when I ask you for your 5 favourite films, it's like somebody like, what are their favourite sweets? Like we've loads of sweets that we like.
So how long's a piece of string? Isn't it?
How long is a piece of string? Good name for a film. Remember that.
I will.
So
wink,
I just thought when you gave me your selection of films, I thought it was
amazing, ingenious, flabbergasting,
interesting. slightly on the, not conservative, but nothing stood out that I went, oh, that's Jerry. But then again, you might have given me 5 other films and I would have went, wow, Jerry. But no, not taking away from your choice, because I think some of the films you've chosen are fabulous, absolutely fabulous. And I thought we'd get a little bit weepy and sentimental and start with we're going to have some stuff from E.T. I think we're going to have the flying theme. This is that sort of, it's sort of, what's the word?
Amazing.
Well, what's the word? It's like genre defining. It's like, what's the word? I can't find the word.
I don't know. Transcendental.
Apocryphal? Is it apocryphal? No, I don't know. Whatever. It's apocalyptic. No, just joking. Yeah. But no, it's when you hear E.T. Basically when you hear this music,
it's iconic.
Thank you, Jerry. Yeah. Iconic. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you very much. That's where Elliot's bike turns into a flying machine. And that was our first selection from our wonderful guest tonight, Jerry O'Mullane. If you're out there on Facebook, as probably generally half the planet is at any given point, say hello, come on the page, picture this. My name's Martin Vallely. We do this every Tuesday night from 9 to 10 GMT, being Greenwich Mean Time. So if you're out there listening, do pop in and say hi. I like to get people on, people I like, and you know, we have a chat and we have a bit of crack, as we say over here, which means, before I get castigated, that means a bit of fun. Jerry, why E.T.?
I suppose, being the age I am, I saw it in the cinema at the time it came out. And my kind of enduring memory, which I was actually saying outside of seeing it came out in, I think I saw it was out in 82, so I was 9 at the time. And back then, unlike now, I knew absolutely nothing about the film, even when I was going to see it. I was like walking down Patrick Street to go into the Pavilion Cinema to see it with my father.
The Pav.
I knew absolutely nothing about the movie whatsoever. And when I saw the poster, right, of the big long hand, right, and the other, I actually thought it was a horror. And I was terrified going in. And it amuses me that, you know, like back then, like, you know, such innocence in you know, know everything about it now. If it was out now, you'd know the ending and everything.
Back then there was no internet, there was no kind of easy access, and that's, I think in a way that's why films were so exciting at the time, because they took you, I suppose, out of your own world into another world that was a special world. It was a different world. I mean, I remember myself going to the cinema in those days. It was a big event.
Huge.
It was and it was a real journey. It was an exciting journey, and that's what being with your dad was fabulous as well.
Yeah.
Because being with your dad, because I did it myself, was great.
Went to a lot of he actually got me into a lot of stuff.
Did he?
And it's not, back then, getting into stuff was, you know, nowadays they're much more lax. But I mean, like, if somebody said, you know, it's over 15s now, it was over 16s back then, but they meant it. Like, they said over 18s. By God, they meant it. I mean,
show your birth cert. Yeah,
we were trying to get into Indiana Jones and the what was the second one?
Temple of Doom, was it?
Yeah, right. And I was 11 at the time, and there was a queue going the whole way down, and there was a guy going through the queue throwing people out, and a guy who was about 16 actually stuck up for me and my friend and said, you know, they'll go in with us.
How old were you at the time?
I was 11.
Amazing.
Do you know, I remember getting
was it the Capitol Cinema or the Pav?
It was the Capitol, and I've always...
I remember it well. At the time, folks, people of a certain vintage, shall we say, will remember these cinemas in Cork. Cork had loads of cinemas. It still does, but they're all kind of distributed out in the suburbs now, aren't they?
Apart from the Cameo.
Oh, yeah.
Cameo was amazing.
And the classic.
Cameo Cinema, right? You could, for 50 pence at the time, you got 2 movies, a breakdance lesson, a disco, and a full-length Michael Jackson video at the time, which traumatized everybody, and anything goes.
You got a breakdance lesson?
You got a breakdance lesson from 2 world champions, I think, at the time. You got a disco. I saw Piranha 2 and... a BMX, I don't know, part 5 or something, you know, the bike returns. 50 pence for the lot.
Piranha 4, Return of the Show. yeah.
Finn.
Finn. And brilliant.
The fish did it.
But I must say, in all my great memory of going to the Capitol Cinema is seeing some cowboy movie, and somebody in the crowd had some class of a nail gun, and was I kid you not, and was shooting like those little staples at people's heads.
Holy cow.
Yes, and there were like 4 like guys with torches trying to find this guy, and he was running around the cinema. So this became like an event in itself, and at one point he stood in front of the film, and it was like you can't make this stuff up. A riot nearly broke out because get out of the cinema, and this guy had this gun up in the air. I mean, little staple gun, but he was like inflicting. I got one in the head. I remember it, and it was kind of sore.
Well, my first question: why did they build a gun that could do that? Why did a staple gun need to have the capacity to do that?
Well, indeed, I don't know. That's what maybe was it kind of like we should make a documentary about it. So yeah, and the cinema's fantastic. So E.T.
Yeah.
I remember seeing E.T. and being very, very, I was supposed to be young, of course. We were all quite young. What was it, 82 you said when it came out?
I think so. Don't come with anything I ever say.
It doesn't matter.
But
it left its mark on you, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those. I was blown away, completely blown away. Like a lot of people, I like. Over the years, I've read a lot of people's descriptions of what they kind of felt when they saw E.T. at the time, and I mean, I think about E.T. and what's so cool about Spielberg was. He was the first. I think he was the first director who really didn't patronise kids. He made a movie. And if he made a movie for kids, you know, serious stuff went on. There was serious drama. You know, it was very moving. It had, like E.T. in particular had, you know, a divorce. It was around divorce. I think that the whole thing was the mother was divorced, the father wasn't there. You've got really good acting. You've got a kind of, you know, the story gets very heavy, as we all know. It's a kind of your classic weepy movie as well. Obviously, you know, E.T. dying, and people have compared it. I've said it's a kind of a Jesus thing as well, you know, because he resurrects at the end, right? So the thing about Spielberg, I think, is that he really didn't patronise kids when he made a movie. He put you through some serious stuff right before you got the happy ending. You know, you were seriously like traumatised, but in a good way. And that's what I loved about him. He loved to scare. Like Gremlins being another unbelievable example of. I saw that in the cinema and laughed till I puked and was petrified. You know, and another. So yeah.
I as much as I enjoyed it, I must confess I preferred Close Encounters.
Well, yeah, I mean,
which completely blew me away. I mean, I just felt that the concept behind it was just so enriching and so sort of different and so sort of all-consuming. And I think E.T. kind of set the kind of parameters for that kind of thinking. And I suppose if you think about America at the time in 82, what are we talking? Reagan? Are we talking Star Wars? The space race was at an end. As in, it had been put to an end by the Americans, by whoever, I think it was not Nixon, but whoever came after Nixon, I can't remember.
Was it Carter?
No, Carter came afterwards. Anyway, it's not a coincidence that these films became popular, because when the space race was effectively abolished, I think towards the late 70s, because they said they'd landed on the moon, they knew they couldn't go any further, and they said, you know what? Let's just concentrate on killing each other. Don't mind these vain notions of go where no man has gone before, etc., etc. And I think these films, in a strange way, replaced that. In the consciousness that the space race was effectively over at that time, and suddenly it, you know what I'm saying, that the alien thing, which of course has always been a great fascination for everybody, yeah, great film. I think just to end this little sequence of the show, Frank. Sorry, Frank. Frank's our producer. Frank, hi, Frank.
He made us.
I think. Frank produced us. Yeah. Have we got something up there, Frank?
We do. We have Simon McKeon.
Oh, hi, Simon. How are you?
McKeon. He's Jerry's the man.
Simon.
Maura J. O'Brien. Greetings, Jerry. Listening from London.
Hi, Maura.
Is there nobody saying hello to me? What's wrong with me? What's the story? Thanks, Maura. Thanks, Simon.
We'll do another show on that.
Yeah. I'm just working hard, but hey, that's all right, you know.
Yeah, you're Irish. What the hell is the working hard thing all about?
Greetings to Maura, greetings to Simon. If there's anybody else out there wants to pop in and say hello, please do. I think we'll just end this sequence of the show. We're going to talk a little bit more about you after this, Jared. I kind of want to know where you're at. Of course. I want to know where you're at, sort of, as a filmmaker and all
about
that stuff.
5 feet this way.
Indeed. Nice use of prepositions.
Thanks.
Let's hear the second E.T. So I think we have another little sequence from E.T. Am I right in saying we have the gut-wrenching goodbye sequence? Elliot. So we're gonna check that out, and then we're gonna come back and talk to Jerry a bit more. Everyone's crying. Are you crying, Jerry?
Obviously, always. I'm Irish.
Frank, you crying? I'm bawling. That was so.
Did you say I'm balding?
No. Look in the mirror, Jerry. We won't go there. Disguise. Sweet disguise. Joking, of course. I have a really great guest in this studio with me tonight.
I can't wait to meet him.
Mr. Jerry Milan, who is very self-deprecating to the point of, I think he's going to disappear any minute. There's no need for that. It's great to have you here.
Thanks,
Jerry, we were talking, I saw something of yours recently on the old YouTube. something you made. I was quite impressed by it. In fairness, it was very good. I believe it was your debut as a filmmaker.
Yeah,
tell us a little bit about that, and tell me where that came from, because I believe you're doing a course in Kinsale. Am I right in saying that?
Well, just to say before that what got me on the course in Kinsale is that I've been in an amazing comedy improv group for 5 years called Choke Comedy.
Of course, yeah, indeed.
Improv in Limerick.
You got some awards and stuff, didn't you?
Yeah. I can't remember the name of the festival. I got the award.
It was called the Big Awards Festival. It doesn't matter.
It was the Unfringed Festival in Limerick. We got a special judges award for that, and performed twice at Electric Picnic, twice at Independence, twice at Body and Soul, Kilkenny Cat Lass. It's a great group, and we're doing stuff with we've done a lot of gigs with a good couple of gigs with Carl Spain over the last year or two up in Limerick as well.
Yeah, he's a funny bloke.
He's incredibly funny, unbelievably funny.
Have you ever thought of doing the stand-up thing yourself?
I have. In fact, it's the only kind of thing I haven't done. I mean, I've tried everything else, and it's the most frightening thing I can think of.
I truly believe it would be your vocation.
Oh, yeah?
No, I truly believe that. Yeah. I think you'd be extremely good at it.
Yeah, I agree with you. But I definitely want to give it a go.
Your repartee is always good and you're quick-witted, so maybe, I don't know, we'll see. So. Maybe I'll become your manager and I'll book you for gigs.
Oh, I see. Maybe I'll tell you about my film.
No, we'll talk about that in a minute, because we've just gone somewhere, we've gone a different direction.
Cool.
No, of course. Getting back to your movie, what happened? You did Choke.
So I was doing Choke.
Are you still doing Choke?
Oh yeah, what it was we were getting into film ourselves, right? We did a music video and we were shooting a lot of stuff, and we just kind of I'd got a camera, but I just didn't know how to use it properly. I didn't know about editing and stuff, and I just made the kind of big decision and said, you know something, we got something really good going here. I want to take the year out to get the skills to bring back to my group, which is why I'm incredibly excited to go back to Choke in June. Can't wait, and do some big things, you know. And so I went to Kinsale to get the skills. So when I did Sleeper was the first film I'd ever done.
But it can be seen on YouTube, folks. I just assume just Google Sleepers. I know there's another film called Sleepers. In fact, Woody Allen did a film called Sleepers.
Yeah, he did. I mean, you'd probably have to type Serene 35 first, which is my you'd have to name. You know, Serene. Go to my page. That's so important. You probably don't know where my page is. You'll find it there somewhere.
But if you Google Sleepers Jerry Milan, I think you'll find it. Will you?
You probably will. If you put Serene, you'd probably get it.
Tell us a little bit about it, because it was. I was interested in the subject matter, because it's kind of a fairly intense study of a chap with so I think it was a mental illness. Suffering from schizophrenia.
Well, what it was from my own personal experience.
Did you write the script as well?
I did. It was a lot of. There was a lot of improvisation involved. There was no act. There was only one person who had any acting experience in the film. Where the kind of idea came from the film is I'm bipolar myself, but I'm recovered for a number of years. But during my own experiences, I would have seen firsthand all of the kind of
manifestations,
very dark side of all that stuff in the hospitals and blah blah blah. So it kind of grew out of that. But it was a very strange fish, because it wasn't scripted from start to finish. I had an idea, I started with, the thing just grew legs, and I was just found myself editing 16 hours a day for 3 months basically, because I'd never edited before. So just completely obsessed and deranged with the thing.
But isn't it great to be editing something you've made yourself?
Absolutely. But the biggest part of it was being someone who's never considered himself technically minded, right? I mean, I find, mathematical stuff, technical stuff extremely difficult, right? Always, I'm creative, but not in that way. So, but I wanted to kind of say, could I do this? So the fact that everyone thought it was really good was a massive confidence boost for me, because I was kind of going, okay, you can actually do this, even though it's not first nature to learn this kind of technical stuff,
It sort of struck me as sort of a fictional documentary almost. In
a way, I had that style to it, I know what you mean.
I don't even know if that's a genre, but I just made something up there. But very very intense and very I like the structure of the film. I thought the beginning and the end really dovetailed nicely. Well, I thought that was, to me, that was one of the stronger aspects of the film.
Well, see, what I wanted to do with it was, as I say, without giving too much away, so I was out in the cinema, but it's kind of
it's okay, you can tell us.
The film starts and ends with kind of the guy being faced with the dilemma of kind of he has to face up to a situation. Yeah, he's got an illness, but he's not doing He's not taking his meds right. He's not doing stuff right. Yeah. And so it doesn't. I didn't want it to have a happy ending. I wanted it to stay with the reality of, which is, even though we kind of feel sorry for this guy, he has a choice to make.
Have you consulted any support groups about sending it to them, or because I think as a film, I mean, it works well as a film, but it also works well on the level of as a somewhat educational package to element to it as well. In that, you know, it does go through that whole journey that this particular character is on, and I think it might be in your interest to do something like that. This is just a personal opinion, because it's quite touching and it's quite powerful in a very subtle way. There's power within it, because clearly you made it, and it's something close to your heart. Something
definitely.
And that comes through in the film.
Yeah,
well, I think that's great. I mean, when you say exactly, they say, create what you know,
write
make
what you know. Yeah, exactly, because you're an expert. Well, you're not an expert. Well, you are in a way.
You're kind of.
I think the thing about human experience is, like, if you had a gradient of human experience from 0 to 100, so, you know, everybody's experienced a little bit of something, right? Do you know? So, I mean, if I make a film about a mental health thing, I've experienced that to a degree. But there obviously like Steven Spielberg made a film about the Holocaust, for example, like, you know, Schindler's List. Now, he wasn't personally there, so but I think when you make something, you draw on your own experience, and then when you have to try to, especially as an actor, actually, for example, if an actor's trying to experience something that's more intense than something he's actually experienced, what does he do? He tries to find the most intense thing he's ever felt and then amplify it, you know. And I think the same thing with filmmaking. Like with this film, it was easy because I would have experienced what the character experienced firsthand. But I sometimes wonder about actors when they play, you know, like a serial killer or something. I mean, obviously, and that's something we don't know about. You know, Anthony Hopkins. Like, I don't think he actually did kill anybody, right? But Jeekers, he was
Tony, as he's known in the business, they call him Tony.
He was a pretty convincing Hannibal Lecter, right?
He certainly was. Of course. I mean, it's like our friend Daniel Day-Lewis plays Lincoln, who's dead like what, 200 years?
Unbelievable.
Well, not 200 years, 150 years, or whatever. Yeah. But I think we'll break it up a little bit here, and we're going to just play a little bit more. We'll have a little chat about this film after. We're going to just one of your films, a film that you quoted as one of your favourites, which is No Country for Old Men, the great Coen Brothers, amazing film. We're just going to get. I think it's the trailer actually. We're going to hear just a little bit of clip of that, and then we're going to go back and talk about what you're doing right now on planet Earth.
Oh God, not that place.
That's all we've got currently. So let's listen to this. We'll talk a little bit about this movie as well, because I think for filmmakers and budding filmmakers, the Coen Brothers are really worth checking out.
Definitely, and they're also on
so many levels. It's insane.
Because they either love or hate each movie. They're
insanely good at what they do.
Ludicrous. Yeah,
phenomenal. But let's listen. This is just a trailer of our friend Javier Bardem, Friendo. It's rare you actually hear a trailer and are convinced by it. Now, having seen the film, obviously, but that's actually the trailer actually stands up for the movie. There,
Javier, am I saying it right? Javier Bardem.
Or Javier or Javier? Javier, because he's Spanish. Is he Spanish?
He's Spanish from Madrid.
He is.
Oh, he's from Madrid. I didn't know that. I didn't know he lived in Madrid. Oh, he's from Madrid. Madrileño?
Yeah.
I see. I lived there myself for a while. A fine town it is too. Didn't meet him, bump into Javier though, or Javier. Anyway, what a performance. He plays this. That film actually got 4 Academy Awards in 2007. It got Best Picture, Best Director, same difference, and Best Adapted Screenplay, and and something else. You might let me know. Maybe it was Best Scary Bits.
Did you say Best Cinematography?
No,
because I think the guys that the Coen Brothers worked with on that, he's like the greatest, you know, one of the greatest cinematographers in the world. Right. So, you know, all those amazing shots of like the storms at the start, and so I think the cinematography probably must have got.
I had read the book before I saw the film.
And what's the book like?
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really bad. Can you try it? You're an actor. Do it for me.
Do it.
Do Javier saying it.
I can't.
No. He can. Friendo. He can. I had read the book, the Cormac McCarthy book. Who also did The Road, if I recall. What a grim sort of a writer. Brilliant book, though. the film to me is like it's one of those films that it definitely stays in the mind for a long time afterwards as you try to fathom. Obviously, this character, apparently, according to the blurb about it, he was sort of he was death incarnate, essentially. Yeah. The character that he played. The character's name was actually. I'm going to have trouble pronouncing this. It was Anton Chigurh, maybe with a
something like
Chigurh, maybe C-H-I-G.
Sure. Yeah.
He was basically he was a hitman hired to recover money that was found after a drugs bust that went somewhat askew in the middle of the desert. Remember that opening scene where all the bodies are lying around, and Josh Brolin finds
exactly. But the thing I'd argue about is, they say he represents the devil and stuff like that.
Well, he represents death, not the devil.
Or death,
He's death incarnate.
Because the thing, I think, because actually psychopathy, which is the study of serial killers, is kind of a hobby of mine, believe it or not.
Bear in mind that most psychopaths are actually benign. There's two types of psychopathy. There's a benign and then there's the active psychopathy.
Yeah.
A lot of people can be psychopathic by nature, but it doesn't lead them down the road of stabbing people in the head.
No, but they did.
If you know what I mean.
Which I thought was where I think the character in the film digresses from an actor. I think that the character in this film,
I wouldn't call him a psychopath.
He's not a psychopath at all,
No,
because the definition of a psychopath is, and this is the thing that Hollywood's been criticised about psychopaths. They make them too interesting. They try to have all these motives, right, and they give them all depth and stuff. Like Bodum's character in the thing. I actually kind of like him. I mean, he's got this whole honourable thing going on that he feels that he has to obey. But an actual psychopath has none of that. They're just the definition of a psychopath is someone who doesn't possess a conscience, and it's actually and it's a neural thing in the brain. And
I would argue. I would argue so much conscience this character has in the film. To be perfectly honest, I'd be.
But if you think about it,
it's sort of it grows within the movie as he's faced with death. But bear in mind, he gets injured and he gets hurt, so the mortality thing kicks in as well.
The weird thing is, I don't know about you, but I actually, I liked him. You know what I mean? I liked what he did.
I liked his haircut.
Yeah.
His haircut is bizarre.
Do you ever root for the baddie in a film? I mean, I always root for the baddie.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
As our friend, with the friend we just spoke about. Well, he's not our friend.
What I'm saying is
Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah.
I mean, we loved him. Did we like our friend Gum?
Was it Anthony Hopkins? Mind the drawings, please.
Do you still hear the lambs, Clarice? I mean, superb. And our friend, the crazy psycho guy who we meet at the end, who is a psychopath. What's his name? Gum?
Jamie Gum.
Jamie Gum.
Oh, of course, yeah. Was it she agree for fat person? Because the police are the first clue. Pressures.
And you got and you know, in that scene, the girl who he had captive, she wrecked my head because she was horrible.
Yeah.
With her stupid dog, and he's like, I'm gonna grab your skin, I'm gonna take your skin. I mean, really off the wall stuff. But Psychopath, he's a hired hitman.
Yeah.
But he seems to take great interest in how he deals with his victims. In fairness,
But see, I think the thing about his character is that, he's enigmatic, right? You kind of they allude to his motives, but he has this kind of iconic status in the film, right? And that's deliberate. He's completely opaque. He's a mystery. You get some, and that's what makes him so incredibly riveting.
It's interesting you say that, because that's kind of his character has been depicted almost like The Man Who Fell to Earth. The David Bowie film.
Yeah, I love that film.
It's fantastic. He's there. He's not there one minute. The next minute he just arrives, and you think who is this guy?
Yeah, like Michael Myers if he spoke or something, with a Spanish accent.
Yeah.
Michal. Was that a Spanish accent?
Sort of.
I go,
if you're from Moscow, if you're a Moscovian, sounds great. We just created a new film character. If Javier, if you're out there listening to us, give us a shout. We have a new part for you. I think he's outside. Hello. Javier's playing a dog.
We've really gone to the
Javier,
dogs.
things have gone really bad for Javier. Now, Javier, it's okay. You can stay out there. Fine. We'll bring you a bone in a minute. Javier Bonem? No.
It doesn't
work. But great film.
Yes, unbelievable film.
Great film. And the Coen brothers, I mean, just the whole thing just rocks from start to finish.
Yeah, in my opinion,
you're always kept on your toes.
Yeah.
You never know what's going to happen.
And extremely
next.
unusual in that it's one of the rare. It's a film that has absolutely no. It has no mood music at any stage. There's no soundtrack, except for two tiny moments where there's a suggestion of music. There's no music in the film. It's all editing. I mean, if you think about it, you know, like there's always
to be honest, I didn't spot that.
Yeah, there's always an underlying music that creates, you know, the tension in the scene. You know, the guy walks, but there's nothing. There's it's all entirely done through editing, and yet it's absolutely riveting. And like even the action scenes, they're deliberately done from, you know, what they from just the view, like when he's in the car and stuff. You know, the angles and stuff are exactly that kind of obscured view where you're only seeing exactly from his perspective, you know, what's going on. It's extremely confusing. Yes, POV. That's it. From his I couldn't think of that. Yeah.
Do you want some coffee?
No, thank you. I was just thinking of a film I'm doing at the moment.
We'll talk about that shortly, but all in good time, my friend. He's in a fierce rush to tell us about his films. You think he was on a radio programme or something? Oh, he is. Yeah. Hi, Jerry.
Hi.
I know you've been busy making stuff lately. We will come to it towards the end of the show. I just want to get back to the Kinsale thing just for a little while. What's going on with Kinsale? Are you still in Kinsale?
Yeah, I'm just finishing up at the moment. I got 4 weeks to go.
How many years did you do?
I've just finished first year.
Okay.
So
it's a 1 year course?
It's a 2 year course.
Oh, it's a 2 year course?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the application's already in for second
year. So tell us, would you recommend it as a place to go and study?
Yeah, I would. I think it's completely... It depends what you want. Like if you go to St. John's, you're going to get something very structured. In Kinsale, it's completely opposite. So it suited me because like in Kinsale College on the film course, you just have a complete freedom. You know, you can you have your own computer all day long, so you can edit all day long. You can literally go out the door and you might be in class and say, okay, I can have a camera there. You get your own. Each person gets a camera on the course, and they're fine cameras. They're kind of handheld, HD cameras. But you get jeepers, what's the thing they sit on?
Tripods.
Chair. Yes, tripods. And you can just tear out, like I could just go out the door 10 o'clock and come back like at 2, no problem. This unheard of kind of freedom. I have coffee in class, like 4 types of biscuits.
Good
Where would you get it?
That's not school.
I didn't say that. Of course,
it's a holiday. It's a creative holiday.
It's a pretty creative holiday.
And are people getting paid to teach this?
They are.
If you need a teacher, give me a shout. It's right up my street.
Well, let me say, I'm actually finishing an animation at the moment, my first animation, which I'm
fantastic.
really excited about.
So the computers and stuff are obviously
yeah, but I'm lucky enough to have a Mac at home as well, even though it's on its last legs. Like, but
that's part of the course. This stuff is this equipment and materials are made available to you.
Yeah, but we're lucky in the course because Fran teaches multimedia and film in the same course. So if you want, she allows you to mix the courses, which is unusual because normally. They're not mixed in that way.
Yeah,
so,
is it a FETAC thing or is it? Is there like a qualification at the end?
Oh yeah, it's exactly the same as any other place. They're all FETAC, right? Okay. But the unusual thing what Fran's set up is that normally multimedia and film in most places are separate courses, but they are in France as well, but because they're in the same classroom, she's allowed the pool of modules to be mixed. So, like, I can do Flash, I can do Photoshop. Normally, you don't get that much of that. In St. John's, or other film colleges, you wouldn't get so much of the multimedia stuff. But because of the loose setup in France place, if you want a lot of multimedia stuff thrown into your film, you can. I find that very cool.
What size are the classes?
Well, the classroom is very small. I mean, there's about...
How many people?
Yes.
I didn't want to know the dimensions of the class. Why would I ask you that?
I don't know.
I have no obsessions with these things. Tell me.
What do you have an obsession with?
It doesn't matter. How many...
Put it down. 12. About 12. About 10, 12 people would have started off on the course. You know the way. Then there would be kind of... Few dropouts.
Any drop-ins?
No.
Okay. Well, 12 is a very good number.
Yeah, well, it's great because you get a lot of attention. So, and that's actually you've got 2 years in there. So
that's almost sort of worth doing the course in itself if the classes are that small and you get a lot of hands-on.
Well,
stuff
if you like that kind of loose structure, but then again, as I say, if you want a regimented thing, you wouldn't. So it's horses for courses, you know. I know some people who don't like it completely, they want something more structured.
They want to be told what to do.
Yeah, whereas it suits me.
Well, having seen your first film, I mean, for such a short time and to be doing this kind of thing, it's really impressive. And
thanks very much.
No, it's very good. And the more you do, the more you're going to learn. And I think filmmaking definitely as an art form, it's getting out there with the camera and just learning all your stuff. And I've done it myself, and it's the only way to go, you know.
Yeah.
But tell me, bring me right up to date. I think you're in. I know you're making a music video with
Andrea,
with Andrea.
Partner.
Hi, hello, greetings. Do you want to say hello?
Hey, babe.
Hey, babe. Take a walk
Hey,
on the
I
wild
get to say
side.
that.
Hey, hon, take a walk on the wild side. No, I know Andy well. We go back a few years as well.
Yeah.
So you're making a video and you're involved in a movie as well. Am I right in saying?
Yeah, well, I'm involved in a feature film at the moment.
Yeah, tell me this about the video, and then we'll talk about the feature film.
Well, the music video is it's a cover of "Smile" by Nat King Cole, obviously, and Charlie Chaplin.
How does that go again?
Which
tune? The tune. I can't remember the tune. How does it go?
You do remember the tune. You're just trying to get me to sing, mofo. Smile though your heart is aching.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, the golden tonsils of Jerry Miller.
This is it.
Man of many talents. You're making it, and are you singing or is your...
Well, it's funny. It started off as I have a great friend. His name is Damindra Singh Kang, and he is on the course. And
Greetings.
And he directed it. So it started off as his project in college, and then what happened was I just kind of seized upon it and kind of put some, production muscle, people that I knew that I was doing film with, and brought them in for lighting and stuff, and we got some nice locations. And so it's Conor Dwan, who's a great actor, and Noelle Clarke, who's a great actress. They're both doing some lovely stuff in it, and we hopefully, most of it is edited. We've one more bit of recording to do. Cormac Brennock is doing the sound for it, so hopefully it should be up online in about 2 weeks.
Excellent, I look forward to that. Now, what about this feature film?
Yeah, so I'm in this feature film. It's called Christmas of Dracula's, and it is directed by Simon McKeown, who's probably listening, salivating, ears actually arriving at some sort of moment. But basically, so the film is called Christmas of Dracula's. It's starring Conor Dwan as Dracula. It is produced by Conor Dwan, directed by Simon. It has an amazing cast, and basically it's a comedy. Okay, so obviously, so it's just a real crazy romp of a film, and I think I must say that the DOP is Christian Paradiso, who is a genius. Cormac Brennock again is doing amazing sound work. So I'm really, really excited about it, genuinely, because it has an incredibly strong cast. It's very, very well written.
Jerry,
yes.
Who do you play in it?
I play.
Tell me.
I play Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. You're kind of going, what a surprise! I thought you played the normal person, Dr. Normal and Mr. Nothing.
No, I can't believe you would have presumed such things from me, to be honest. In fact, frankly, I'm appalled. But I'll take. We'll look into that after the show.
We will, very closely.
Splat,
under a microscope.
So you're playing Dr. Jekyll and
Mr. Hyde.
Who wrote the script for this?
Simon wrote the script. Mike O'Dowd wrote actually a phenomenal soliloquy in it, right, which is absolutely brilliant, which I am incredibly lucky to get to say, as my character... Dr. Jekyll makes this great speech. Mike wrote the speech, and it is really, really good. And I think Simon wrote a really, really tight script. And as I say, I'm excited about it because it's got great production value, it's got great actors, strong story. And also, I think the thing about the film is that it's trying to juggle a lot of different elements, which is very ambitious. It's trying to be serious in bits, it's trying to be funny, it's trying to be horrific. And I actually think that it pulls it off. And I'm extremely excited to get you weirded out.
Well, Jerry, I'm excited to Jerry excited. And frankly,
I can see that.
I'm really excited because you're in it. Because
I see.
If we cast our mind back not so long ago,
when I had that barring order,
you appeared in one of my films.
I did. Give me convenience or give me that.
Never anticipate the unexpected. That's actually what it
became.
We made a film, folks, in Cork is a hive of filmmaking at the moment. We made a film a couple of years ago called Never Anticipate the Unexpected.
I remember
some great people on board this. Yes. And Jerry played a particularly funny part of a sort of faded, eccentric aristocrat. Some great lines, some really funny moments. It's on YouTube. It can be viewed. It's public. Never Anticipate the Unexpected. Check it out, and you can see Jerry in action with a host of other characters. Very zany. It's been very well received in some quarters. It's as we call a no-mo production, which is no money.
That's nearly everything.
But everybody got on board, and everybody did a fabulous job. And I suspect Simon's approach to this is professional.
Yeah, I mean, Simon is an incredibly impressive guy. I mean, if you think about it, his first year in St. John's, and I'm sure, as he will say, quite a lot of people thought he was fairly loco to try and do a feature film in his first year, especially given how young he is. I think you're 20, Simon. So, no, he's an amazingly grounded guy. Who's, and I think I'm very excited about this film. I'm very excited about the people who are involved in it, because when you got a lot of grounded people who are determined and they're good, then, and you know, they're willing to do things like put their money where their mouth is and put their time where their something else is, because I can't remember another adjective. Then things will happen. What a vague, ridiculous.
No, but I know exactly. It's the home. It's kind of the do-it-yourself ethos.
The DIY film.
It's a DIY film, which is great, because I think in a very strange, paradoxical way, these are the best films to get involved in, because there's no pressure really. It's at the end of the day, it's down to, well, I mean, okay, a film with a budget's a good thing because it makes things flow easier. It's easier to get good people on board. But having said that, it's a good place to get your chops, so to speak.
Yeah.
As we say in musical parlance, you know, get your ideas, get your skills, hone your skills a little bit, and the more ambitious, the better. I mean, the more grandiose the idea, fantastic, because you know you end up drawing from more sources and more reserves than you might have even reckoned on from the beginning. I think we might we'll have a little bit of music, Frank, will we? What do we got?
We got Mrs. Amy Winehouse.
Do we?
Yeah, do we?
I don't think so.
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
We've a Full Metal Jacket.
Yes, this is great.
Oh, everybody heard about
this is great. This is me love you long time scene. This is hilarious, folks. Check this out. This is the famous scene from Full Metal Jacket, and we'll talk about this afterwards. I love this scene. But heads up for Christmas at Dracula's. Look forward to seeing it. Whenever it's coming, I'm sure Jerry will tell us what's going on. And let's this is great. So you've been listening to Picture This on Irish Radio International. Check us out on Facebook. It's been great. We've enjoyed the show. I've loved having Jerry on the show. Jerry's an old friend and entertaining as ever. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Frank, for production. We're going to fade out on this.